Hello, everyone. Welcome to Makula. Today, we'll be looking at the Makula mobile app, which is specially built for engineers, and specifically how engineers can fill out service reports on the go. Once the engineer logs in to Makula, the first screen they land on is the My Work Orders section. They can simply navigate to the work order they need to fill out a procedure on, navigate to the Procedures tab. If the procedure is already attached to the work order, they can go in and start filling it out, or they can click Attach Procedure to then go in and select the procedure that needs to be filled out. Let's say, for this example, we're filling out the safety check procedure. We can go in to the procedure and simply start filling it out. Now, these templates have already been pre-configured on the web in the procedure section, and the engineer just has to go in and fill it out for each instance. These procedures can also be filled out offline because we understand that many times engineers will go to factories that have restrictions, that have poor connectivity. So these can always be filled out offline and then synced back once they have connectivity again. Let's look at how these procedures are filled out. So we have some basic questions here. For example, who's the technician who's performing this service? I'm going to go in and select myself since I am filling this procedure out. Condition of the asset when we first arrived. Again, this is somewhere that the engineer can take an image of the asset with their mobile phone. Let's take a picture of my laptop for now. Again, for this example, I will just be adding a couple of other pictures of my laptop. I can upload these files, and as you can see here, they've been added. What is the machine location? Say it's on ground floor. Ground floor. Who's the site supervisor? I'll say it was Dr. Simon. And then there's a table that I need to fill out over here. Machine name. Let's say this is the Packmaster 3000. The serial number, just because they've asked me, otherwise all this information gets added to the report automatically based on the headers that have been set up. That is something you will find on the desktop version of this video. Let's say the serial number is 1123223. Task performed. I checked the motor, and I also fixed the rotors. Inspection result, I'll say, for example, passed. Time spent, if this is something that is relevant to you, 40 minutes. I can, of course, add more rows if there's more information that I want to capture by simply clicking Add Row. Here, you can see an entire new section, or 3 sections have been added. So I could simply move across these sections using these buttons. Now, if there were any parts that I attached or replaced, these get fetched from the machine on this procedure based on the work order. Let's say 3 actuators and, I don't know, maybe 1 control lever, 2 control levers. Any sub-assets, again, this is something that has already been configured for me to just fill out. Let's say I also fixed the subsystem for Mark 004. When did the issue start? Say it was Wednesday the 25th. Maybe a section for attaching an image after the service was done. And again, I will just click an image of our application for this example and upload this file. There's an inspection checklist. Let's say I checked the power supply, the conveyor belt alignment, motor drive, cooling system was good, sealing element was in place, safety guards were in place, control panel was functional, sensors are all working fine, the lubrication points were fastened, and general cleanliness was also good. Again, now we have some options that I'm not going to go through because maybe just they're not required, maybe not relevant for this particular instance. And then there's a section to capture signatures. Now, I'll be adding 1 signature from my side here, as I'm the technician on site, and I'll add my name. and I will sign. And then I can get a signature from the customer. Let's say we're getting a signature from the customer. Also today, Simon is the customer supervisor on site, and Simon's signature, that's a very bad signature. And once this is done, this button to finalize is now active. I can simply click this and finalize the procedure. And now we see that it's finalized. As soon as the procedure is finalized, you can see that everything is now inactive. Since I got a signature from the customer, I cannot make any further changes to the procedure. Let's now explore the other parts of the mobile app. Any procedures that were unsynced, you can see on the top, it says you have 2 unsynced items. Once I'm connected back to the internet, I can go in and sync them. So one of them has already been synced and will now be available across the web app as well if you were to log in. Okay, let's also look at, while working on a work order, how engineers can track time, which is a very important feature of the mobile app. So within a work order, you can navigate to the time tracking tab. And once you're working on it, simply click this at the bottom. This starts recording your time. Now, let's say you've navigated to other parts of the work order, you're filling out the procedure, or you're traveling to the customer site or back. And if these are all relevant times that you need to track, once you've done that, you simply come in and press the stop button. As soon as you press the stop button, it asks you for a description. Let's say this was working time. It's of course filled out the duration, when it started from when it ended. I can give it a tag. These tags are set up in your settings. And let's say this was the actual maintenance bit of work that I did. I can specify whether this is billable or not by toggling this on or off. In this case, let's say this is billable. If there are any other custom fields that we've added here to the time tracking entries section, then those would appear here. Let's say this was contractual work. As soon as I do that, the time entry gets added and it now shows the total time spent, which is 15 minutes. Of course, we understand that engineers need a lot of other information. So as they go into the work order, they can also go into the company page, look at certain custom fields that may be relevant regarding the service at hand, look at the assets from the company, go into any of those companies, go into any of those assets and look at other information like the history, documentation, any sub-assets that belong to this asset. So the history shows me a note added by one of the other engineers who were working on this asset at some point. You can also look at the assets. That's all for the mobile app and our digital forms. Of course, if you're interested in how other features in Makula work and help machinery manufacturers with their field service and customer relations, feel free to check out our other videos. Thank you.